Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about a piece of advice that sounds inspiring but often creates a lot of stress for students. The advice is, find your passion.
That phrase. Everyone asks me that, my teachers, my family. So Mark, what's your passion? And I just freeze. I have no idea. I look at other students who seem to know exactly what they want to do, and I feel like I'm already behind. It's this huge pressure to have this one big, perfect answer for my whole life, and I don't have it. What if I choose the wrong thing?
And what if the advice itself, the pressure to find a passion, is the actual problem?
What do you mean? It's supposed to be good advice.
Most students think of passion as something you discover, like finding a hidden treasure. You search and search, and one day you find it. And once you have it, your path becomes clear.
Yes, exactly. That's what it feels like it should be, a moment of discovery.
But that idea creates a lot of anxiety. It suggests there is only one correct answer for you, and if you don't find it, you failed. It makes you wait for a magical feeling instead of taking action.
So I just sit there waiting to feel passionate about something, and I mostly just feel anxious.
The reframe is this: passion is not something you find, it's something you build. It's the result of a process, not the start of one.
The result of a process? I don't understand.
Let's think about it differently. Many students believe they need to feel a huge amount of passion before they start something difficult. They think, once I find my passion for medicine, then I will be able to study for 10 years.
That sounds reasonable. The passion is the fuel you need to do the hard work.
But in reality, it often works the other way around. Passion is the feeling you get after you've overcome challenges and become good at something. Think about learning to play the guitar. The first month is painful. Your fingers hurt, the sounds are terrible. No one feels passionate at that stage.
Right, that's when most people quit.
Exactly. But if you push through that difficulty and you finally learn to play a song you love, what happens then?
You feel amazing. You feel proud. You want to learn another song.
That feeling, that pride, that desire to keep going, that's the beginning of passion. It didn't come first. It came after the effort. You have to patiently cultivate an interest, especially through the difficult early stages.
So you're saying I shouldn't wait to feel passionate. I should just start something, and the passion might come later?
Precisely. You don't find a passion for guitar just by looking at it. You cultivate it with your own hands, mistake by mistake.
Okay, that helps with things like hobbies. But what about the big life decisions, like my university major or my career? It feels like one huge choice that I can't get wrong. The pressure is enormous.
It is terrifying, and it's based on a false idea that you can predict who you will be in the future. But people change. Your interests change, the world changes. A better way is to stop thinking about giant commitments and start thinking in terms of small experiments.
Small experiments?
Yes. Instead of asking, is computer science my one true passion for life, ask a much smaller question, a question you can answer this week. For example, am I curious enough to try a free 1-hour online coding class?
That's it? A 1-hour class?
That's it. It's a small, low-risk venture.
So if I hate it, I've only lost an hour. And if I like it?
Then you have a new question. Am I curious enough to try a weekend workshop? You're not deciding your whole future. You are just following your curiosity, one small venture at a time. The same applies to other fields. Instead of deciding, I will be a journalist, you could start by writing one article for your student newspaper.
It makes the next step feel much smaller, not a lifelong commitment, just a little test. But what if I don't have any big interests to even test? My friends are passionate about saving the environment or building robots. I just don't have anything that strong.
And that leads to the third common misunderstanding. We believe passion has to be this big, loud, obvious feeling. We look for fireworks. But for most people, the clues are much quieter. They are more subtle.
What do you mean by subtle clues?
I mean the small, quiet signals of interest that you might ignore because they don't feel important enough. What topics do you find yourself searching for online when you should be sleeping? When you walk into a bookstore, which section do you go to without thinking? What kind of conversations make you forget about the time?
I don't know. I guess I read a lot about how cities are designed, and I watch videos about ancient history, but those aren't careers. They're just things I find interesting. They don't feel like a passion.
They don't have to be. They are just starting points. A subtle spark of curiosity is more than enough to begin. You don't need a huge fire. Follow that little spark about city design. Read a book, watch a documentary. You don't need to know where it leads. The goal is just to explore the curiosity itself.
This sounds nice, Sarah, but it also sounds messy, unfocused. If this is true, why do so many successful people seem to have a clear direction from the start? It feels like all these little experiments could just lead nowhere. What if my interests are too different? City design and ancient history, they don't connect. What if they never come together into something real?
That's a very important question, Mark, and it's what keeps many students feeling stuck. The path forward feels ambiguous.
Exactly. It feels completely ambiguous, like I'm just wandering around without a map.
That feeling is not a sign that you are lost. It's a sign that you are exploring. Think of it like collecting building blocks, like Lego. At first, you don't have a plan. You just collect the pieces you find interesting. A red piece here, a blue one there. Your interest in city design is one block. Your curiosity about ancient history is another. Your weekend coding venture is a third block. They seem separate, unrelated.
Okay, so I have a pile of random Lego blocks. Now what?
You keep collecting things that interest you. You learn skills, you gain experiences, and you stay open. Over time, you start to see surprising connections. You might realize that you can use your coding skills to build an interactive map of ancient Rome. Or you use your knowledge of history to write articles about how ancient city planning can solve modern problems. Your separate interests start to converge.
So the different paths come together.
They can, and often in ways you could never have predicted from the start. The goal isn't to find one perfect path. It's to collect a unique set of skills and interests. That combination is what becomes your strength. The period that feels ambiguous is actually when you're gathering your most valuable materials.
So it's okay if things feel messy and unclear for a while. The goal isn't to find a path, but to walk in a direction that feels interesting and trust that the path will appear as I connect the dots I've collected.
Exactly. You give yourself permission to be a beginner. You can start a small venture based on even the most subtle curiosity.
And I don't need to love it immediately. I just need to be willing to cultivate it through the hard parts.
Yes, and as you gather more experiences, your interests might converge into something that feels like a real passion, something you built yourself, not something you found.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted. I don't need to have the answer for my entire life right now. I just need to have a next question.
And that is a much more powerful place to start. Hello to everyone listening. We hope this conversation was helpful. If there's a different student problem you'd like us to explore, please let us know in the comments.